Coffee Pot Conversations.
Bonjour et bienvenue to Coffee Pot Conversations, the podcast that gives you a half-hour break from the mundane to give you a half-hour mundane podcast. Anyway, this is the best bits. So episode 4.10, we've made it. We made it through November overnight stay in Paris, which started at the beginning of season 3, which was at the beginning of the year 2025, from a overnight stay at the end of last year, being 2024, in November of last year, which was November 28th to 29th, 2024, brought you over the year from January 2025 up until November 2025. Complex, convoluted conversation, coffee pots, marvellous. So, normally I have a script, I don't know if I do. But normally what happens is I will talk to you about what I feel are my best bits, and I'll get people involved in what their best bits are. This time round, a little bit different. I've got the boys giving you their best bits, and that was whilst recorded in, you'll find out later. And then the conversation part, where I would normally break down and go over old videos or old vocal parts, that's not really happening. I sat down and spoke, given what I thought were my best bits. It's not the greatest of episodes, but you know what, you've been with me this long, so I will be honest, it's not the greatest of best bits, but it's done. After sticking with me for that entire year, I just want to say thank you for sticking with me for the entire year. We will have the news, we will have the conversation, we will then also have the conclusion and the coming ups. And that will be it for season 4. You then get a break of a month, whereby I return in January 2026. That will be 2 complete years of podcasting, 4 complete seasons. We made it. Yep. If you've joined in late in the day, then you get a chance to check out my back catalogue. There's not really much of it as such, but there's enough to tide you over during the festive season. Some episodes are longer than others, but some are better than others. So there we go. Anyway, I will now pass you over to Paul with the news, who's actually sitting opposite me today. So Paul, over to you. Thanks, Paul. So, former French President Nicolas Sarkozy has been released from La Santé prison after spending 20 days of a 5-year sentence for corruption and conspiracy. The 67-year-old remains under judicial supervision, meaning he cannot leave France or contact certain co-defendants. Sarkozy described his time behind bars as grueling and a nightmare, but he now intends to focus on his appeal. This release comes amid ongoing debate about the treatment of former political leaders in France. Fancy prison not being a great stay. The city's cultural heart remains under scrutiny following the October Crown Jewels heist at the Louvre. The museum is now installing 100 new security cameras and updated anti-intrusion systems as part of a 20-point emergency plan. 4 suspects, a woman and 3 men, have been formally charged with DNA evidence linking them to the theft. Officials have also moved some of the museum's more precious jewels to the Bank of France for safekeeping, so thank you for the heads up. The Louvre's director has acknowledged that previous underinvestment in security made the heist possible, including using the word Louvre as the Louvre's security password. On a more sombre note, Paris also paused to remember a darker chapter in its recent history. The city marked the 10th anniversary of the November 2015 terror attacks, which claimed 132 lives. President Emmanuel Macron laid wreaths at the Bataclan, cafes and the Stade de France, while the Eiffel Tower was illuminated in blue, white and red. Families, survivors and first responders joined in remembrance at newly inaugurated memorials, including the Jardin, the 13th November 2015, a quiet space behind the Hôtel de Ville to honour the victims.
Coffee Pot Conversations.
I was debating whether I do this as in one big hit, but I'm struggling with that concept. Obviously I like the intro, the news, the conversation, the conclusion coming up. So I don't know what to do, but I'll I'll let you know what's happened. So I've just spent 2 nights in Paris. Last time I did that was back in February. Took some video footage, not used any of it. That's the way it goes. I don't actually know what I did for those 2 days. It's probably in a blog somewhere, on an Englishman in Paris.blog. So yeah, I came to Paris to do season 5, and then I am now doing the best bits, which is what this episode is. I'm in the Eurostar departure lounge in the secret section, which if you watched episode 4.9, you will know exactly where I am. That's about it. I've got a whole list of things that I want to talk about, which I will talk about in the conclusion. I want to talk firstly about my best bits. My best bits, for me, it was giving myself time to prep for season 5 by doing that big batch recording of the November overnight stay in Paris. I was able to condense my workload. Very important for me, especially season 5 has been a bit hectic, and life in itself has been hectic, but got through that. What I liked was watching back over the episode, seeing how I've changed even whilst walking in Paris. I must have known that I was going to have to do a lot of what I did, so I sort of adapted, even overnight. It was quite creative of me, really. So I'm chuffed with that. What else? My best bits. I did like what did I like? I think I just like the fact I got through it. Managed to make it 9 episodes. That was pretty cool. Reduced my news reports. That was hard work. It started getting way too much, way too long, too not me. So yeah, stripped it all back, which you would have seen, because I'm now going to use this is the conversation. So I already done the intro and the news. Yep, that's right, I did that. Could be repeating stuff because I've not actually recorded yet. That's going to be at home in a coffee shop. My best bit of the best bits sounds really silly, but having these 2 nights in Paris, it allowed me to visit my favourite restaurant, my favourite bistro, my favourite coffee shop, and my favourite boulangerie. A little bit lonely, I'm just by myself, but my use of French has expanded. In a couple of shops I was chatting to people, sort of shop talk, even spoke to a policeman, and that was, now I'm not sure if this is going to interfere with what we're talking about, so I'm just going to remain quiet for the time being, because I don't know how much of that was picked up on the microphone. But anyway, I spoke to the policeman because yesterday, being the 13th November 2025, was a 10-year anniversary of the terrorist attacks. They shut down the vast chunk of Paris that I couldn't get through. But I will talk about this in... now she's off. I really hope it gets picked up. If you're watching on video, that's everybody waiting for their late train. If you're not watching on video, then I'm just showing a video of everyone waiting for their delayed train. She's still going off. Yes. Now, I do worry about whether you can hear this or not. Reason being, I'm using my DJI mic, which I have used throughout season 5. So you may hear... Actually, I'm just going to stop because she's winding me up. Typically now in English.
Your train will not be able to depart from Paris station.
Great, now they're ready to go.
We're currently waiting for your train to arrive. This train is supposed to arrive at 16:56. Once the train has arrived, you'll be prepared for your comfort and safety and will be able to depart to London. Due to that last minute train swap, your train will have a delay of 50 minutes.
I don't know if that's 50 or 15, I didn't hear the French. Anyway, so losing.
A delay of 50 minutes after departure from Paris. Thank you very much for your attention. On behalf of the whole Eurostar team, we would like to apologize for any inconvenience caused by the delay of the Eurostar service to London.
Now if that's 50 minutes, that's going to leave 20 minutes gap between them schlapping out and me schlapping out. Anyway.
Chers passagers, votre attention s'il vous plaît.
So,
Ceci est une annonce pour les passagers de
Still hanging on.
l'Eurostar 51, départ initialement prévu à 18h06, à destination de Bordeaux international. Nous invitons tous les passagers voyageant à bord de ce train se présenter en porteur A ou B. Afin d'avoir une nouvelle carte d'embarquement, c'est un changement de train de dernière minute. Merci de votre attention et au nom du public du Eurostar et de nos décidés pour tout bien occasionnel. Dear passengers, attention please. This is now an announcement for passengers traveling on Eurostar service 9051, initially departing at 1806 to 19 Paris International. We kindly request all passengers traveling on the 1806 departure to please indicate A or B to have been new boarding pass due to the last minute train swap. Thank you very much for your attention. On behalf of the whole Eurostar team, we would like to apologize for any inconvenience caused.
well, not too sure what that was. Something about ticket change and 50-minute delay. So Eurostar policy being 60 minutes and get I think 10% back or something, but we'll cover that in a later episode. So I'm going to leave this here and probably have to pick up maybe on a train if it's not too busy. And just check my phone. It's kicking off live action stuff now, isn't it?
Chers passagers, votre attention s'il vous plaît. Ceci est une annonce pour les passagers de l'Eurostar 51, départ initialement prévu à 18h06 à destination de Bordeaux international. Nous invitons tous les passagers voyageant à bord de ce train se présenter en porteur A ou B afin d'avoir une nouvelle carte d'embarquement suite à un changement de train de dernière minute. Merci de votre attention et pour le public de l'Eurostar, nous souhaitons nous excuser pour toute occasion. Dear passengers, your attention please. This is an announcement for passengers traveling on Eurostar service 9051, initially departing at 1806 to 19 Paris International. We kindly request all passengers traveling on that Eurostar service to indicate A or B to have your boarding pass reprinted. We wish a last minute train swap. Remember for your attention.
Well, I've got to go change my ticket. So, a bientôt. Oh, exciting times. So anyway, we will probably just now cut to an interview with Ron Jasper, and I'll tidy up the conclusions in a coffee shop back home. Hello boys, it's Dad in Paris, my luxurious Parisian hotel room. Better than the ball stall last time. But how you doing?
I'm good, yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I went for a long walk today, got stuck in a lot of police blockades because of the 10-year anniversary of the terrorist attack on the 13th November 2015. So they're doing big commemorations for that. They've actually got one happening in the 4th as we speak. Yeah, so I went for a long walk, ended up in Au Pair Tranquille just to do some batch recording for season 5.
Ooh, very nice.
So, that's season 5, but more importantly, we are here for episode 4.10, the best bits. And boys, what are your best bits?
Andres?
My best bit is where you transfer from yourself to the news.
So when I say Paul, it's over to you. Thanks, Paul. Like that.
Yeah, that bit.
That's cool. And Rory, what's your best bit?
My best bit is similar to Jasper's, to be fair. It is in your most recent episode, 10.9, a November night stay in Paris, where you had an obvious eye patch on due to a bloodshot eye, and you ask him what the difference is to a normal podcast. You named everything possible apart from that eye patch. I think that's pretty funny.
Oh, thank you very much. And I've still got the eye, and if you watch season 5 you'll notice it, because I couldn't be bothered wearing sunglasses indoors, because whilst I try and emulate the Parisians, most of them do take their sunglasses off indoors. But boys, what parts did you like and which parts didn't you like of season 4? Just to let you know, boys, this is the 4th time that you've been doing the best bits for me. How about that, eh?
Really?
Yeah.
But it is the 4th season.
Well, it doesn't feel like it. Feels like less than 4.
It's been 2 years worth of podcasting. But anyway, any good bits or bad bits? What do you think? What do you like? What don't you like?
I think just the podcast itself is entertaining. Cold Tuesday night, early mornings. It's good brain starter-ish thing. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think what you're referring to is when we get to watch it. So it's released on the second and fourth Tuesdays, and I'll pick you up once I finish work on a Tuesday and take you to rugby. We watch half the episode, and then as I'm taking you back to school on the Wednesday morning, you get to see the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jasper, anything you like or you don't like?
I like when, say there's just nothing happening and it's a bit boring for the viewers to watch, you just speed it up.
Yeah, I did that twice. I think once in each season. Season 3 was when I was going to Sephora for Nev and down the escalators at the Owl, and walking in past the Christmas tree. It's hard to believe that was a year ago. And the second time, I think it was the last episode, as I was walking towards my favourite boulangerie, and I finished at a Franprix that also had a Christmas tree, but nowhere near as magnificent as Les Halles, or in fact Galeries Lafayette. So any other parts that you like or dislike, boys?
I like when it's you voice over and it sounds like you're speaking in the actual moment. Is that in the last one again, and using Gare du Nord, walking up the steps to go sit down, I asked you, is this a voiceover or not? Because nowadays it's so realistic.
Rory's referring to times like these.
Yeah, no, I quite enjoy that. Again, it's similar to when it goes quiet, because if you're watching it, you can see what's happening, but a lot of people still listen. They find it easy to listen, which is a problem I was having. So in order to break up that silence, or the audio silence as opposed to the visual silence, I often try to explain what's happening, or give a bit of a breakdown, sort of like a mini podcast within a podcast. But no, it's cool. There won't be any of that this season, I'm afraid, or this season coming up, because it's all monologious. I still need to find out the actual word meaning of monologue. But yeah, a lot of that, so it's going to be hard-hitting in terms of absorption, but that should really be in the next section, which will be after the conclusion and Jasper's jingle time. So, boys, anything else you want to say for the best bits?
I think that's it, to be honest.
Fair enough. Anything you want to say to the listeners and viewers back home?
Hello, Frankie.
Jasper?
Hello, Frankie.
I'll let you know when she listens to it and see what she says.
Yeah.
Frankie, friend of the show from season 1.
Coffee Pot Conversations.
And that was episode 4.10, The Best Bits. Yep, the best bits of the November overnight stay in Paris from 2024. I'm not going to go into details again. Just to conclude, for things that I may or may not have covered in the conversation, because I don't want to go over and listen again. All right, a bit of background. So what happened was I was sitting in the London Hall, the departure lounge at the Eurostar in Paris, and I was trying my best to get a whole conversation out, just where I was going to give you the best bits and then sort of intersperse that with the interview with the boys. And they started yabbering on, and it didn't quite happen the way I wanted it to, because they were yabbering on. I didn't know if the mic was connecting or picking up or whatever. So that was it. I wanted to do the best bits from the station, which is what I did, and that was that. So what then happened throughout the day was the train that was due to leave at give or take 10 past 5 was late by 50 minutes. I didn't know if they said 15 or 50, but it turns out it was 50 minutes late. My train was round figures 10 past 6, and that was then going to have a knock-on effect because there was no way they were going to get in and out and all the rest of it. So they said we've got to go exchange our tickets, because if you're on another train then it may not be the same style of carriages. It's what you always start to do. So I went down, you know, I'm cool, I'm calm, collected, and they said that they asked, would I like to exchange tickets from the 10 past 6 to 10 past 5, bearing in mind it's a 50-minute delay. Yeah, why not? So I did that, and that was great. So my 10 past 6 should have got me back about 7:30, I think it was, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9, less than an hour, 9, should have gone back about 8 o'clock at night, English time. So I got on the 10 to 6, which was delayed, but it was at 10 past 6, it was delayed by 50 minutes. Long story short, because it's a fairly long story, I got back, there was an additional 10-minute delay, so I actually got back the time that I was due to get back, had my train not have been delayed as well as the other train. But because there was an hour delay, I then got 30% back by doing an e-voucher for the hour delay. I could have got 25% cash back, but I'm going to be going to Paris, I might as well use a voucher. I had 3 months to claim it and a year to use it. I'll be using that for next year, 2026, when I go to do season 6, possibly. But anyway, so that was the conclusion of that episode, not this episode. To conclude this episode as well as the whole of the season, I just want to say thank you to everyone for sticking with me. It's been, well, it was an overnight stay in Paris. I've had a few stays in Paris since then. Two-nighters, one sort of entire day trip. I may go back over that at a later date when I dig out through all my archived footage. That was a long journey. That was literally an overnight bus, followed by a day in Paris, followed by an overnight bus, and then back to work. Long day. Anyway, for the last time in this season, which is season 4, which was the second half of the November overnight stay in Paris, but for season 4, for the last time, it's time for Jasper's jingle.
Coming up on Coffee Pot Conversations.
We have season 5. Yep, season 5 coming up 2026, which will possibly more than likely be the next episode, which will be in January. So you're going to have a month off, unless you're just listening straight through, in which case you're not going to notice the difference. That will be more of a monologue season, whereby I will have the conversation, the monologue, and you will be bombarded with many tangents and diversions from the main topic as advertised. That's just the way I am. Try and keep things, I'm not going to say keep them alive, but keep them moving. One thing I did read the other day is have hands on the show during these confrontations with the camera. This should have been in the conclusion and I forgot to put it in, so I'm going to put it in now. The monologue season. The monologue season. Anyway, the monologue season is going to be more camera work, more face-to-face. I might splice in some bit of B-roll, which is coming up to post the conclusion. But it's going to be more of this, as I say, more me talking to the camera. So season 4 afforded me the luxury of time in order to try and break down the best way of doing what I'm doing, which is what I'm doing now. Which is it the best way? I don't know. It's probably the only way. Different to the way I'd initially intended. I may even do an episode of this next season, just if I'm short. I may save it for season 6. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. Because we are organic here at Coffee Pot Conversations, hosted by an Englishman in Paris. That pretty much is it. So stick around, listen back to old episodes if you want to, wait for new ones. I don't mind. You're here, you're doing what you're doing. I don't know if I put a call to action in, but you're listening anyway. So the call to action would be, let me know if there are any topics that you wish me to go over for next season, be it season 5. If I don't get to do it, be season 6. Drop me a message, drop me an email, just call it upcoming at anenglishmaninparis.blog, but you know the drill, just put anything at anenglishmaninparis.blog, it will get to me. And it is only me checking my emails, even those spam emails. So thanks. Check out the blog, anenglishmaninparis.blog. I do need to update that, which I will probably be doing over the Christmas period. I'll have my regular Christmas blog entry, which will probably go up in April. And that is it. Yeah, you know where my podcasts are. You may know about my Instagram, at an Englishman in Paris blog. I want to say drop me a DM. Don't bother doing it. Just comment on one of my pictures. It's much easier than that. And it's all public. And it's no grief, no aggro, no nothings. I don't care if you're a one-off person or if you're a huge, heavy content creator or an influencer. Just leave a message. Be upfront about it. Don't spam my emails that I've been getting for different things. For different things. I don't want all that deal. But I do want to say thanks to those that have provided input over the last couple of years. Thank you. Without you, I wouldn't be here, because even if you don't like the show, you're listening. And that's one reason for me to carry on going, because, you know, I'm not always a nice guy. I do sometimes like annoying people and... no, sorry, I can't say that, but it's true. Yep, that's it. That is it. And I always do struggle, especially when I'm doing like comparing and hosting stuff, knowing when to stop, when to draw the line. Showbiz, leave them wanting more podcasts, give them everything you've got. Season 5 just tucked around the corner. So is Christmas. Sorry, Frankie, soon be Christmas. So that's a dramatic pause, wasn't it? So for the last time, for season 4, for the last time in 2025, it's over to Rory.
Coffee Pot Conversations.
Coffee Pot Conversations.